Welcome back to another beautiful day at the ballpark here at Clydeberry Field. It has been a sensational weekend of weather, and it's gotten just even better today. 63 degrees and sunny here on the campus of Henderson State University as we wrap up a 3-game series between your Henderson State Reddies and their visitors, the Arkansas Monticello Bull Weevils. Henderson State and Arkansas Monticello both coming into this game now 3-2 in conference play. The Reddies swept Southern Nazarene last weekend. Those were actually home games as they were moved from a scheduled series in Arkansas over to the Sooner State. So those were home games for the Reddies that they played in Bethany. So the Reddies started 3-0. They outscored the Crimson Storm 45-6 in 3 games, but it's been a different story this weekend against UAM. Henderson State hasn't seized their opportunities as well as they did last weekend. The Reddies dropped 2 yesterday. They dropped game 1 8-3. They lost game 2 just 2-1 and could not pick up Matthew Baker, who delivered 5 innings of scoreless baseball, allowed 4 base runners in all, just 1 hit against Baker. But the Reddies could not come up with any clutch hits as they put on 2 runners on first and second with nobody out in the 4th, the 6th, and the 7th, but could not scratch a run across. So Henderson State will look to salvage the series today against Arkansas Monticello, and this is a big one. Both these teams tied for 3rd in the GAC at 3-2. Henderson State wants to stay in the top quarter of the league. But if they lose and go to 3-3, they're going to be tied with Southeastern Harding and Southwestern Oklahoma State and Ouachita Baptist in the middle of the pack. For UAM, it's going to be Cade Thompson to lead things off. He takes a strike from the Reddies starter Spencer Tack. First pitch, 12:57, so a bit of an early start as the train leaves the station. 63 degrees and sunny at first pitch. 0-1 to Thompson. That's 1-1. Spencer Tack gets the start for the Reddies. Tack, right-handed hurler, 6'4", junior out of the Lone Star State, Dallas, Texas. 1-1 to Thompson. Swung on, fouled out of play. Thompson behind that one. Shoots it into the parking lot. That's down the third base line. Kind of the amphitheater seating here at Clydeberry Field. Great place to watch a game. Great place to spend a Sunday afternoon here today. 1-2 from Tack, looking for a K to start things off. It's pounded down the first base line. Simple play for the Reddies first baseman Grayson Stevens. He fields it, steps on the bag for the first out of the game. Thompson went a combined 1 for 7 yesterday, so make him 1 for 8 over the weekend. A couple more at-bats upcoming, of course. But the Reddies have done a pretty good job on the UAM's leadoff man. That'll bring up Hudson Hopkins. Hopkins, that second plays left. 0-0 ball game, top of the first. Hopkins thought about it, kept the bat back, and takes a ball. 1-0. Little above the belt there for Hopkins. Hopkins, the righty hitter, after Thompson led off as a lefty hitter. Hopkins, he's up, straight up, batting stance, takes a ball outside, 2-0. Hopkins went 1 for 3 with 3 walks, 2 runs and 2 RBIs in game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. That was an 8-3 Arkansas Monticello victory. Tack, the Reddies righty, comes set, comes to the plate for the 2-0. Swung on, just foul tipped, and may have deflected off the Reddies catcher Josh Aguilar. Aguilar starting the second game of the series. He started game number 2 yesterday and starts game 3 here this afternoon. Alex Day, the freshman, got the start in game 1 Saturday afternoon. 2-1. Breaking ball, catches the inside part of the plate. Nice pitch, nice location from Tack. Count goes to 2-2. Tack induced a ground out down the first base line. Stevens, the Reddies first baseman, took it himself to retire Thompson, trying to retire Hopkins here. It's foul back, up and out of play. Hopkins just missed that one. Count remains 2-2. Tack comes into this one 1-1. His third appearance, third start of a young 2021 season. 2-2. This is Chop, left side of the infield. Argenbright charges, fields and fires, makes a nice play to retire Hopkins. Argenbright swooped in front of the shortstop Joe Myers, who was waiting on that ball deep in the hole, but good play by Argenbright. If Myers has to wait on that ball for another tick longer, that's going to be a much closer play, as Argenbright made a decisive throw for the second out of the inning. Scoreless ball game, top of the first. UAM scored one in the top of the first in both sides of the doubleheader yesterday. This brings up Jordan Johnson, who takes this ball at the shins, 1-0 from Tack. Johnson comes into this one as UAM's offensive leader, batting .450, 1-0. High and inside, 2-0 to Johnson. Not a guy you want to get behind. Johnson combined 3 for 8, 3 ribbies across the doubleheader yesterday. 2-0 from Tack. Popped up on the right field line. This will drift out of play, 2-1. Johnson playing third base, batting third for UAM today. Redshirt junior of Beaumont, Texas. He's got next level size listed at 6'5". 2-1. Tack wondering where that one was. A long look in after the Pearl hit the mitt of Aguilar. 3-1. Tack wanted that to be 2-2. Base is empty. 2 out. Top of the first. Scoreless ball game. Reddies trying to retire the Boll Weevils in order. 3-1 from Tack. Again out of play. Johnson just a bit late, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Johnson led Arkansas Monticello in the shortened 2020 season last year with in almost every offensive category. Batted .354, 7 homers, 19 ribbies in just 21 games. 3-2 from Tack. Again, fouled off by Johnson. He stays alive, making Tack work here in the top of the first. 16 pitch innings so far from Tack, 10 strikes. UAM has made the Reddies right-hander work a little bit here in the top of the first. Tack still trying to retire them in order. This one is lined down the right field line. It'll roll to the wall, and Johnson digging for 2. He turns the corner. He wants 3, and he'll get there. Jordan Johnson, in 120-plus games coming into this weekend, had never had a triple out of 120-plus hits, 157 hits to be exact. He's got 2 triples already this weekend. And UAM continues to be a tough out when there's 2. UAM had 10 hits in game 1 yesterday. 9 of them came with 2 outs. 2-out triple from Johnson. This brings up Perrino. Perrino takes a strike on the outer half. 0-1. Perrino batting cleanup, catching for UAM in the last game of our 3-game set here at Clydeberry Field. Perrino with a slightly crouched stance, an open crouch. And a strike on the outer edge again. Off speed for Tack, and the count goes to 0-2. Perrino resets, steps into the batter's box, chokes up just a tad. Wants to put it in play, make the Reddies defense get him out. 0-2. Back up the box, and this will run on by the Reddies shortstop Joe Myers into the outfield, and once again UAM strikes with 2 outs. Tack got 2 ground outs back-to-back to start the top of the first, but a triple from Johnson and an RBI single back of the box for Perrino. And UAM has scored in every first inning of the three-game set this weekend. They got one in the first in Game 1, one in the first in Game 2, and now one in the first of Game 3. As Aaron Gala, UAM's first baseman, comes to bat. Aaron Gala lines the first pitch he sees into left field. This drops in front of the Reddies left fielder Danny Mitchell Jr. for a single. And now Tack, after retiring the first two hitters he saw, has given up 3 straight hits. A triple and back-to-back singles for UAM. And now 2 on, 2 out for Dylan Borman. Tack has had a solid start to the season, but he's given up a lot of base runners. His whip right now, through 9 innings, 1.89. And this is hammered down the left field line, but it'll hook foul. As a reminder, whip is walks plus hits per innings pitch. So if your whip is 2, that means you're giving up a combination of 2 walks or 2 hits or 1 of each per inning. So that's 2 base runners per inning that Tack's given up. So he's had to work around a lot of jams. He's in one now, 2 on, 2 out for Borman. And he slaps it right at third baseman Argenbright. Argenbright crouches, fields, and scurries to third. He beats Perrino to the bag, and UAM is retired in the top of the first. But not after 3 hits and a run for the Bull Weevils. Henderson State plays from behind as they bat in the bottom of the first when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. We're in the bottom of the first. The Reddies are down 1-0. More 2-out hitting for UAM in the top of the first. Tack retired the first 2 he saw, then a triple, back-to-back singles, and the Reddies trail as Caden Argenbright digs in and takes a ball outside from Levon Cordova. Cordova making his second start of the season, got the win in UAM season opener last weekend. Off the end of the bat, Argenbright fouls it back. 1-1 the count. Bottom of the first, Arkansas Monticello has scored 1 run in all 3 games of the weekend series in the top of the first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Argenbright pounds it into the UAM dugout. Foul. 1-2. Starter on the mound for Arkansas Monticello today, Levon Cordova, wearing number 13 out of Hermosillo, Mexico. Cordova, 7.20 ERA in 5 innings. Argenbright fights it off into center field. This will bloop in for a single, and Henderson State gets the bats going early as Argenbright takes first, and the Reddies have a base runner with nobody out in the the bottom half of the first inning. Beautiful day here at Clydeberry Field. Blue skies, mid-60s, 63 degrees at first pitch. It'll heat up a little bit more as we head into the late afternoon. First pitch was at 12:57. Just past 1 o'clock here on the campus of Henderson State University as Grayson Stevens takes a breaking ball for a ball upstairs. 1-0 to Stevens. Argenbright leads off first as Cordova catches the inside part of the plate. Stevens drops the bat to adjust the batting gloves. Once more, Henderson State's lineup dominated by lefty hitters. 7 of the 9 Reddies hitting today are lefties with a bat in hand. Stevens takes a fastball near the ankles. Inside, count goes to 2-1. Stevens was the Reddies' best hitter yesterday as the Reddies fell in both games of the Saturday doubleheader. 2-1 from Cordova. 2-2. Stevens fouls it off and back. Stevens, game 1, 2 for 4. Was also hit by a pitch, so reached safely 3 out of 5 trips to the plate. Double, tripled. His triple tied the game at 1 in the bottom of the third. And then Stevens went 1 for 3 with an RBI and drove in the Reddies' only run in game number 2. 2-2. This is hammered. Deep right field. Running back, McElroy. He looks up. He runs out of room. Stevens gives the Reddies the lead. That is a home run for Grayson Stevens. His 3rd of the year. That ties him with Joe Myers for the team lead. And in the blink of an eye, the Reddies in front for the first time this weekend, 2-1 in the bottom of the first. What a piece of hitting for Grayson Stevens. He turned on that ball, and it was out of here without a doubt. Deep over the right field fence, 365 out there in right. And Stevens cleared that, no problem. Grayson Stevens got off to a bit of a slow start earlier in the season, but has been excellent at the plate this weekend as the Reddies lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the first. Nobody out as Danny Mitchell Jr., another lefty, digs in for the Reddies. Argenbright singles, Grayson Stevens homers. The Reddies lead 2-1 here in the bottom of inning number 1. Back-to-back outside pitches for Cordova as Mitchell Jr. wiggles and digs back in. Hitters count for Mitchell Jr. 2-0. 3-0. Cordova misses badly, trying to regather himself after giving up a single to Argenbright and a 2-run home run to Grayson Stevens. And again, the Reddies leading this weekend for the very first time. 3-0 to Mitchell Jr. 4-pitch walk. And Mitchell Jr. didn't have to do much in that at-bat. John Harvey, UAM's head coach, wants to talk it over with Cordova. We'll step away on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Mound visit between Arkansas Monticello's head coach John Harvey, his pitcher Levon Cordova, and their catcher Andrew Perrino finished. Reddies continue to bat here in the bottom of inning number 1. Henderson State leads 2-1 for the first time all weekend. UAM won both yesterday, 8-3 and 2-1. Henderson State leads 2-1 in the bottom of inning number 1 here. 0-1 to Alec Lewis. He's in front of that one, pulls it down the right field line and foul, hooks into a vacant Arkansas Monticello bullpen. But if Henderson State keeps hitting like this, then it's not going to be vacant for long. Levon Cordova, allows a single, a homer, and a walk to the first three batters for the HSU lineup. He's way ahead here looking for an out on Lewis. Lewis stays alive, fouls this one up and out of play. Count remains 0-2. Cordova, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs given up, all of them earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks in the win over Northwestern Oklahoma State in UAM season opener last weekend. 0-2 to the lefty Lewis. Just missed outside with a fastball. Perrino tried to frame it, but Cordova does not get the call, and the count goes to 1-2. Reddies up 2-1, bottom of the first. 3 hits for UAM in inning number 1 in their half. 2 hits for the Reddies so far. Alec Lewis sends this to left center field, drifting over Hopkins, the left fielder, and he battles the sun to make a jogging catch about 15 feet in front of the warning track. Lewis gives it a bit of a ride, but Hopkins didn't have much trouble with it for the first out of the inning. 1-on-1 out now for the Reddies, who lead by 1. Again, Reddies started the inning with an Argenbright single. Stevens homer to right field. Mitchell Jr. walked on 4 pitches as Cordova gets his first out here. Joe Myers digs in as Mitchell Jr. leads off first. Hanging breaking ball. Myers pounds this one deep down the left field line. This is always foul, but that is straightened out. That might have been the Reddies' second 2-run home run of the inning. Mitchell Jr. a threat to steal as he leads off first. 28 stolen bases in his career at Henderson State. He takes off. Throw down to second, not in time, not on line, and Mitchell Jr. will take 3 steps toward third before returning to the bag as the Pearl trickled into center field, but Shepard, UAM center fielder, was wise to it and backed up the throw. He was charging the throw down from Perrino. A stolen base for Danny Mitchell Jr., and the Reddies eliminate the double play, or at least the conventional double play, as UAM no longer has the force at second. The pitch was a ball. It's 1-1 to Myers. Now 1-2 as Myers swings through. And that's the first swinging strike that Cordova has induced. So Henderson State seeing the ball pretty well here in the bottom of the first. With Mitchell Jr.'s speed, a base hit to the outfield by Myers likely adds to the Reddies' lead. Myers, a long lead off of second. He takes off for third, but he will retreat as this one is chopped foul down the third base line by Myers. Really no check on Mitchell Jr. from Cordova, and Mitchell Jr. was about a quarter of the way down the baseline by the time that pitch was thrown. Count goes to 1-2. Myers leads HSU with 15 RBIs. Looking for number 16 right here. Another 1-2. Check swing by Myers. Did he go? Home plate umpire says he did. Myers can't believe the call. But Myers unable to plead his case, and that is the second out of the inning for the Reddies. So Henderson State now will have to hit with 2 outs, which UAM has excelled at all weekend. UAM had 3 2-out hits in the top of the first. The Reddies lead this ball game 2-1 in the bottom half as Matthew Baker, who was absolutely nothing short of sensational yesterday on the mound, digs in with a bat in hand. Baker went 5 innings and allowed just 4 base runners for the Reddies as he took over for the opener, Braden Beebe. 1-0. That's low. 2-0. Matthew Baker with his outing yesterday, that was one of the best outings I have seen by a Reddies pitcher probably since Chris Priddy's 2019, where he was near untouchable at different points of the season. 2-0 to Baker. 2-1 now. Cordova takes a bit off and finds the zone on the inner half of the plate. Reddies lead 2-1 by way of a Grayson Stevens 2-run home run. Argenbright singled to lead off the bottom of the first. Stevens homered. Mitchell walked on 4 pitches, but Cordova's gotten the last 2 guys he's faced out. Mitchell Jr. stands on second after stealing a base. And another breaking ball for a strike from Cordova. Evens the count 2-2. 2-2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Reddies looking to make this a 2-run game with a base knock from Baker to score Mitchell Jr., who leads off second. 2-2. Count remains the same as Baker stays alive. One in on the hands and fouled back into the netting. Baker pulling double duty, again, batting and pitching at times for the Reddies this year. 2 for 9 with the bat in hand so far. This is popped up. The shortstop, Clary, calls for it just behind the infield. He makes the play. The Reddies reach safely with their first 3 batters, but Cordova responds and gets the next 3. He limits the damage to 2. Henderson State will take their first lead into the second inning. They lead 2-1 in front for the first time all weekend. UAM bats when we return on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Cladberry Field. Henderson State up 2-1. We start the top of the second. UAM bats with Cole Muckleroy. It'll be 7-8-9 due up for UAM in the top of the second. Muckleroy swings, pounds the first pitch he sees down the first base line. Stevens, the first baseman, backs up on it, fields, and throws to a covering Spencer Tack. The Reddies' right-handed pitcher covers the bag, and he makes the play for the first out on his first pitch of the second inning. Tack, 23 pitches in the first inning, so 24 for the game now. On those 24, 18 of them have been strikes, so 75% strike percentage for Tack. He's had good control today. First pitch from Tack to the center fielder Grant Shepard. Shepard grounds this foul down the third base line. Shepard, a redshirt junior out of Monroe, Louisiana, went to Ouachita Christian High School. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Tack pulls the string. That had a lot of movement on it. And Shepard came up empty. 0-2. Tack retired the first 2 batters he saw on the top of the first, but then a triple from Johnson and back-to-back singles from UAM made it a 1-0 UAM lead at the time. Reddies now up 2-1. As Tack misses inside, 1-2 to Shepard. Reddies got their first crooked number of the weekend in the bottom of the first. Argenbright singled, Stevens homered, and in the blink of an eye, the Reddies had the lead. Tack still looking for his first strikeout of the afternoon. Gets the call, fastball at the knees. Shepard goes down looking for the second out of the inning. Here is where the trouble has started for Reddies pitchers. The Reddies have been unable to end the inning without damage being done so many times before. UAM has been unbelievably good hitting with 2 outs against them all weekend long as a strike is poured in. The shortstop, Audie Clary. Clary bats 9th in the order for UAM. Arkansas Monticello had 10 hits in Game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. 9 of them came with 2 outs. 0-1 from Tack. And this will be another 2-out hit. Clary pounds it back up the box. And that'll be a single. Arkansas Monticello now 4 for 5 with 2 outs early in this ball game. The lineup resets for UAM. Cade Thompson digs in. Thompson grounded out to the first baseman Grayson Stevens unassisted for the first out of the top of the first. Clary leads off. Fastball inside, down at the ankles of Thompson. Ball 1. Reddies lead this ball game 2-1. We are in the top of the second. 1-0 count to UAM second baseman Cade Thompson. He bats for the second time, lefty hitter. Tack wanted the call in the outer half, doesn't get it. 2-0 to Thompson. UAM pieced together 3 hits in the top of the first after Tack had retired the first 2 batters. Tack retired the first 2 here in the second, but Clary leads off first after a ground ball up the middle. Rolled on by for a single. Tack gets the call on the 2-0, now 2-1. To the lefty hitter Thompson. And that's back up the box, and that is another single for UAM. So Tack gets 2 in a row to start the second. But back-to-back singles for UAM here in the top of the second have made this a dicier situation for Tack. Tack played with fire a bit last weekend in Bethany. He allowed 11 hits in 5 innings. He made the big pitches when he needed them and leaned on his defense, giving up 2 runs in those 5 innings. But Crimson Storm had a lot of base runners. 2 base runners here, 2 outs for UAM in the top of the second. Reddies up 2-1. 1-0. Tack misses inside to Hudson Hopkins. Hopkins grounded out to the Reddies' third baseman, Caden Argenbright, for the second out of the first inning. He bats with 2 on and 2 out in the top of the second. Base hit would tie it. 1-0. 1-1. Clary leads off second. Thompson leads off first. So speed on the base paths for the Boll Weevils is Clary is their shortstop and Thompson's their second baseman, middle infielders. Guys who are both fleet of foot. Tack, long look in, comes set. Here's the 1-1 to Hopkins. Swing and a miss. Tack gets a big swinging strike there, gets ahead 1-2. Trying to work around a couple singles that went back up the box, grounded into center field for a couple base runners for UAM this inning after Tack got 2 straightforward outs to start the inning. 1-2. This is foul. Count remains the same. Hopkins grounds it down the third base line, but left of the line. Tack took the loss in Game 1 of the UAM series back in 2019. The Reddies lost that game in 15 innings when UAM got 3 runs on 3 hits in the 15th, and the Reddies could not respond. Tack again, looking for his first K. 1-2 to Hopkins. Does not get the call on the fastball on the outer edge. Reddies faithful here at Clydeberry Field wanted that one. So did Tack, obviously, but the count goes even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 2 on for UAM in the top of the second, and a 2-1 game. Reddies in front by way of a Grayson Stevens 2-run dinger in the bottom of the first. Here's the 2-2. Tack reaches back, reaches a little too far, though, and misses low and outside with a fastball, and the count now full. Tack does not want to lose Hopkins because UAM's most dangerous hitter, Jordan Johnson, is on deck. Johnson, one of the best hitters in Arkansas Monticello history, and might be undebatable best hitter by the end of the year. 3-2, runners take off. Check swing by Hopkins. He went! And a huge strike 3 for Spencer Tack keeps the Reddies in front. HSU leads 2-1. We'll go to the bottom of the second when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Reddies lead as we begin the bottom of the second. Henderson State got a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first. The lead 2-1 as Daniel Colasanto leads off and takes a breaking ball outside, 1-0. Colasanto bats 7th, plays 2nd for the Reddies today. Crouch stance for Colasanto, one of 7 lefty hitters in the lineup for HSU. Cordova gets the call on the breaking ball there. Started high, but drops in at the belt for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cordova, 29 pitches in inning number 1, so already up over 30 as he's fired 2 so far in the third. That's his 32nd pitch. Colasanto fouls it off behind it on the left field line for the lefty hitter. Henderson State in home white uniforms today. Arkansas Monticello road grays. 1-2 to Colasanto. That's high. 2-2. Henderson State, these jerseys kind of remind you of early 80s Philadelphia Phillies. The red pinstripes, the thick stripe down the shoulders and down the sides of the pants. They're good-looking uniforms for both teams today. 2-2 to Colasanto. This is shot to short. A long run, a charge for Clary. He makes the throw, but pulls the first baseman Gala off the bag, as Gala has to reach toward home plate, and Colasanto is safe on first. And we will have a debate up here at the press box whether that was a hit or an error. Yeah. I think it's a hit. Everybody agrees. Colasanto on with an infield single. So Henderson State now leading off the first and the second here with singles. Argenbright singled to center in the bottom of the first. Colasanto singles to short in the bottom of the second. This brings up the Reddies catcher Josh Aguilar, who takes one in the dirt, blocked and kept in front by UAM's catcher Andrew Perrino. Arkansas Monticello expecting Aguilar to pull slightly. The shortstop Clary aligned shaded over closer to second base as Cordova misses outside with a breaking ball. UAM trying to roll the double play here. 2-0 to Aguilar. Aguilar, redshirt senior out of Dallas, Texas. 2-0. Cordova finds the inside part of the plate. 2-1. 2-1 count, 2-1 game. Bottom of the second. 5 hits for UAM in their first 2 innings at bat. 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Reddies got 2 in the bottom of the first, 1 so far here in the bottom of the second. This is sent to the left side of the infield. Colasanto took off, and so no double play opportunity for UAM as Johnson, the third baseman, was playing over closer to the second base. In normal alignment, that's probably the shortstop's play, but Johnson makes the play to throw out Aguilar. 5-3. Colasanto moves up 90 feet to second. And the Reddies have a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of inning number 2 is Bryson Haskins, Reddies center fielder. Digs in. Again, Haskins with that very closed stance, that front foot way closer to the plate for the righty hitter than the back foot is. Outside with a fastball. Cordova misses 1-0. Haskins, 2 hits yesterday in the Saturday doubleheader. Went 2 for 8 combined. Both hits were bunt singles. 1-0. 1-1. Nice breaking ball from Cordova. That breaking ball's been his best pitch today. He's had more accuracy with the off speed than numero uno, the fastball, it seems like. 1-1 the count. 1 out, 1 on for the Reddies. Bottom of the second. Colasanto singled to the shortstop and advanced on a fielder's choice. Roped foul by Haskins. Count goes to 1-2 for Bryson. Bryson, 5'10" junior out of Ashdown, Arkansas. Not the only Reddy from Ashdown. Austin Cross is also from Ashdown, as Bryson Haskins laces this one down the left field line. Haskins will trade places with Colasanto. Haskins with an RBI double and a nice piece of hitting to give the Reddies a 2-run lead. HSU up 3-1 here in the bottom of the second. Colasanto scores from second. Haskins replaces him there as Haskins has a really nice hit with a 1-2 count. He laced a pitch foul the pitch before, straightened it out a little bit, and stands on second now as the Henderson State order resets with Caden Argenbright digging in. Argenbright 1 for 1. Singled to center to lead off the bottom of the first and scored. As Grayson Stevens hammered a home run over the right field fence a couple pitches later. Argenbright takes the ball outside. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Again, one runner on for the Reddies. Haskins replaces Colasanto at second after the double scored Colasanto. Cordova steps off, fakes the throw to second base. Haskins retreats, but then leads off once more. Cordova comes set, the righty hitter, 1-1 to the plate. Inside, good block as Perrino slides to his right to keep that in one in front. It was also a good decision earlier this inning to put on the little hit and run as Colasanto took off from first as Aguilar grounded out to the left side. And if the hit and run's not on, that's a double play ball, and there's likely 2 outs with nobody on. Instead, Colasanto goes to second and was doubled home by Haskins. 2-2 now the count as Argenbright fouls off the 2-1. Argenbright third on the team of qualified hitters, batting .323. Argenbright has started all 8 games for the Reddies this season. Tied for the team lead in hits. Leads the team with 4 doubles. Henderson State would love his 5th. Would love back-to-back doubles after Haskins doubles home Colasanto. 2-2 from Cordova. Strike 3. Argenbright swing through a fastball. Could not catch up through a little high heat. And Cordova on the 2-2 gets the second out of inning number 2. Reddies up by 2, 3-1. Bryson Stevens digs in, and he has been the best Reddy with the bat all weekend. Combined 3 for 7 in the doubleheader yesterday. Now 4 for 8 over the weekend with his home run in the bottom of the first. First pitch to Stevens. Backdoor breaking ball for a strike. Cordova gets in front 0-1. Henderson State has pushed 1 across so far in the bottom of the second. Colasanto singled with the shortstop. Advanced to second on the Aguilar ground out. Then Haskins doubled him home. Argenbright recently struck out. So Haskins leads off second, 2 outs against the Reddies in the bottom of inning number 2. Cordova steps off again. But Haskins not in danger over there at second base. Clary, the shortstop, playing behind him. But not making any moves to check on him seriously. 0-1. And Stevens singles into left field. Haskins rounds third. He's going to come home and score. And Bryson Stevens stays scorching hot. The Reddies with crooked numbers now in the first and the second. They lead 4-1 as Stevens has a 2-out RBI for HSU. A big piece of hitting by Stevens. He is now 5 for 9 over the weekend. By far the best Reddy hitter, as Stevens might well be over the 300 threshold now. Stevens came into the weekend batting around 230. Came into today batting 273, and after a 2 for 2 this early in the season, could be up over 300 as Danny Mitchell Jr. digs in and spins out of the way of a inside fastball. 1-0 to Mitchell Jr., who walked on 4 pitches in the bottom of the first, was stranded on second. 1-0. Check swing by Mitchell Jr., called strike anyway. 1-1 now. Reddies up 4-1 in the third of 3 games this weekend. The Reddies hosting the Arkansas Monticello Boll Weevils. Boll Weevils took both in Saturday's doubleheader. 8-3 in game 1, then 2-1 in game 2. 1-1 to Mitchell Jr. High and inside. Again, Mitchell Jr. twists the hips and avoids the pearl. Mitchell Jr. was one of 2 Reddies to hit in both games of yesterday's doubleheader. The other one was Bryson Stevens, who stands on first. This is popped up out of play as Johnson, the third baseman, and the catcher Perrino both scurry over to take a look, but never had a chance. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Bryson Stevens with 6 stolen bases in his Henderson State career, so maybe an opportunity to hit and run here. Mitchell Jr. waits on the 2-2, and that hit him. Mitchell Jr. will be awarded first. So Mitchell Jr. spun out of the way of 2 pitches earlier in the at-bat, but the third time's the charm as Mitchell Jr. Limp slash jogs down to first, and Mitchell Jr. has reached safely now in 2 straight plate appearances without having to lift the bat. Mitchell Jr. came into this game leading the Reddies in walks with 7, had not been hit by a pitch before that one. Mitchell Jr.'s on-base percentage was 3rd on the team coming into this afternoon, and it's up over .400 now. It was 394, but reaching safely twice this early in the season is going to send that on-base percentage sky high. 2 on, 2 out for the Reddies in the bottom of the second. 2 runs already across in the half inning. Alec Lewis swings through the first pitch he sees, strike 1 from Cordova. Already 55 pitches for Cordova in the first 1 2/3 of his outing. UAM's bullpen starting to get active over there. it'll really get active if Alec Lewis can get a hit. Checks his swing. He went around. 0-2 on Lewis. UAM has killed Henderson State all weekend with 2-out hitting. Henderson State got a 2-out revy from Grayson Stevens as he singled home Bryson Haskins earlier this inning. Alec Lewis trying to do the very same as Stevens stands on second and Mitchell Jr. stands on first. 0-2. Lewis stays alive with a defensive swing. Count remains the same. Cordova has struck out 2 Reddies. He struck out Argenbright earlier this inning for the second out. He struck out Joe Myers for the second out of the bottom of the first. Looking for K number 3. 0-2. This is hit high in the air to right center field. Backing up, Shepard, he calls for it and makes the play for the final out of the second inning. Henderson State, though, gets 2 more. The Reddies did not score more than 1 run in any of the 16 innings we played yesterday. They've got 2 in both innings as we head to the third on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State leads 4-1 as we start the third. Jordan Johnson leads off inning number 3 for the Bull Weevils. That's Spencer Tack misses inside 1-0. Tack starting his third inning of work. He's gone 2+ now, giving up 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks. He struck out 2. 1-0 to Johnson. Hit high in the air. Shallow left field. Mitchell Jr. ranges over towards the left field line and makes the play for the first out of the inning. So Tack has gotten leadoff man in innings 1, 2, and 3 now. He's gotten the first 2 hitters to retire in innings 1 and 2. But that's when the troubles have started for the Reddies, and it's been that way all weekend long. UAM had 10 hits in Game 1 yesterday. 9 of them came with 2 outs. All 5 of UAM's hits so far today have come with 2 outs against them. Tack doesn't get the call. That stays above the belt of Andrew Perrino, the righty hitter of UAM. 1-0 from Tack. Tack has given up 19 hits in 11 1/3 innings this season, so almost 2 hits per inning for opposing teams. 1-1 now. Tack, though, has combated that with the fact that he's brought his walk numbers significantly down throughout his Henderson State career. Only 3 walks so far on the year from Tack. And this is a looping line drive. It'll fall in for a single. Andrew Perrino is now 2 for 2. He had the lone RBI for UAM in the top of the first. And Perrino has
excellent start to our Sunday afternoon. 2 singles and 2 at-bats as he leads off first now with 1 out in the top of the third. Aaron Gala digs in. He singled in the top of the first inning and takes a fastball for a strike at the knees. 0-1 the count. This is sent out to center field. Haskins gets a really nice jump on the ball and makes the play in left center for out number 2. So it's been an easy road to 2 outs for Spencer Tack in innings 1, 2, and 3 now. But again, he's had trouble ending things. UAM got 3 hits with 2 outs. Scored a run in the first, got 2 hits with 2 outs in the second. Tack stranded 2. And now Dylan Borman bats with 2 outs in inning number 3 here for UAM. Borman grounds this foul down the third base line, 0-1. Borman was an everyday player for UAM back in 2019, the last full season of baseball in the Great American Conference. He was member of that UAM team that went 24-6 in conference play, 34-16 overall. 0-1 to Borman. Tack misses outside. 1-1. Borman that year in 2019 batted .254, but hit a dozen home runs and had a dozen doubles. So more than half of his hits, 45 hits, more than half of them went for extra bases. 1-1 to Borman. Swing and a miss. 1-2, Tack ahead. Tack got a big swinging strike 3 on Hudson Hopkins to end the second on a full count. Looking to end inning number 3 with his 3rd K. He won't do it, but he induces a pop-up shallow right field. Coming on Lewis, he calls off the second baseman Colasanto to make the play, and Tack has gotten better every inning so far. He gave up 3 hits and 1 run in the first. He gave up 2 hits, no runs in the second, and he gives up one hit and no runs in the third. So Tack heating up, and Henderson State's bats will try to stay hot. The Reddies got 2 in the first, 2 in the second. We'll try to get 2 more in the third, as UAM will have a new pitcher when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to
to Clydeberry Field. New pitcher takes the hill for Arkansas Monticello. The Reddies chase the Bull Weevil starter Levon Cordova after 2 innings. Mason Philly takes over now for the Bull Weevils as Henderson State bats up 4-1 at the start of the bottom of the 3rd. Joe Myers, they've gotten a piece of that. Either way, whether it's a swinging strike or a foul ball, it's 0-1. Philly replacing Cordova, who gave up 4 runs in 2 innings. 0-1 to Myers. 1-1. Cordova, 29 pitches in both the first and second innings. Henderson State really made him work. As Philly is a left-handed hurler, taking over for the righty Cordova. Gets the call in the inner half of the plate, 1-2 to Joe Myers. Myers tried to check his swing, but struck out in his first at-bat in the first inning. 1-2. Myers fouls it off his foot. Count remains the same. So Cordova finishes for UAM. If Henderson State can stay in front the rest of the way, Cordova will get the loss after going 2 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Myers leads off the bottom of the 3rd for the Reddies. 1-2 from Philly. Popped up. This drifts into foul territory down the first base line. Gala dropped it. And so the Reddies now will have an extra out to work with, essentially, as Myers gets another crack at it. We'll see if he can make Gala and the Bull Weevils pay. It's been a tough battle against the Sun all weekend, and Gala loses out there, drops the pop-up, and Myers does just that. He makes UAM pay on the very next pitch. That's just how baseball works. You drop a pop-up, 9 out of 10 times, the guy's going to make you pay and get on board as Myers leads off the 3rd with a single into left field. Henderson State now has started all 3 innings with a hit. Argenbright singled to center in the 1st. Colasanto beat out a grounder to the shortstop in the 2nd for an infield single, and Joe Myers leads off first now after a line drive to left. Late time called and given to Matthew Baker as Philly finished the pitch, but it did not count. Baker pitched yesterday for the Reddies and was sensational. He hits here with Myers on first. Philly misses inside, Baker out of the way, and Perrino ranges to his right to keep it in front. 1-0 the count. Baker hits 6th for the Reddies. Myers started the inning, so 5, 6, 7 due up for HSU in the bottom of the 3rd. Reddies lead 4-1. 1-0 to Baker. Chops it. Left side of the infield. Johnson goes to second, on to first. Not in time to turn the double play as Baker beats the throw of the second baseman Thompson. So that is a 6-4 fielder's choice as Myers is wiped from the base paths on the ground out. 1 on, 1 out now for Daniel Colasanto. Reddies up 4-1. Henderson State got 2 in the 1st. Argenbright singled to lead off, and Grayson Stevens hit a 2-run home run. Then in the 2nd inning for the Reddies, Haskins doubled down the left field line to score Colasanto, and Stevens singled home Haskins with 2 outs. Colasanto swings and misses A lively fastball, 0-1. Colasanto 1 for 1 with a run scored. He led off the bottom of the second with an infield single to the shortstop Clary, then came around to score on the Haskins double down the left field line. 0-1. Outside with a fastball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on for the Reddies. Here in the bottom of the third, Joe Myers singled to lead off the inning. Henderson State has singled to lead off every inning in which they've had the bat in their hands. The lefty, Philly, checks on Baker, comes to the plate, and hits Colasanto. Went to the breaking ball, and it started way inside, the whole way out of his hands, and Colasanto wears it and heads to first. Colasanto now has reached safely in his first 2 plate appearances. Henderson State's bottom of the order really jump-starting things for the top half early on in this one. Colasanto started the bottom of the second off of the single and scored. As he goes to first, Matthew Baker moves to second, and the Reddies have 2 runners on base now with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Josh Aguilar, the man behind the plate for Henderson State, digs in. Aguilar 0 for 1, grounded out to the third baseman Johnson in the second. First pitch to Aguilar, taken for a strike. So the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Reddies, Colasanto, Aguilar, and Haskins combined 2 for 3. Colasanto has reached twice and stands on first. Haskins had an RBI double to bring home Colasanto back in the second. 2 on for the Reddies. Baker on second, Colasanto on first. Aguilar bats a 1 count. Aguilar swings through an 0-1. Fastball, 0-2. Aguilar has hit very well in a very small sample size this season. Two hits and 3 at-bats. Combined here now, 0-2, trying to be a hitter and put one in play. He leaves that one lone outside. Takes a ball, 1-2 now to count. Mason Philly on the mound for UAM. He took over for the Boll Weevil starter Levon Cordova, who lasted 2 innings and gave up 4 runs. Reddies bat here, up 4-1 in the bottom of inning number 3. Baker on second, Colasanto on first. Aguilar fights this one off. A little roller to the third baseman Johnson. He fields and flips to the covering second baseman Thompson at second. Colasanto retired, but no chance for a double play as Thompson faked the throw and held the ball. Aguilar grounds out, another 6-4 fielder's choice. Baker moves to third, so 2 on and 2 out now for the Reddies in the bottom of the third. And Bryson Haskins digs in with a chance to add to the Henderson State lead. Haskins made it a 3-1 game in the bottom of the second. He doubled home Daniel Colasanto. Would love another extra base hit here to extend Henderson's advantage. Haskins swings the first pitch, fouls it back off the netting surrounding home plate here at Clydeberry Field. Baker stands on third. Aguilar stands on first. The Reddies 1 hit in the inning. A 1 to Haskins. This is looped out to right field. Muckleroy coming on to make the play for the third out of the inning. So the Reddies strand 2, and we'll go to the fourth. Reddies up 4-1 on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State leads 4-1 as we start the middle innings here. Top of the fourth. As Henderson State looks to salvage a 3-game set. The Reddies fell in both games of yesterday's doubleheader. Fell in game 1, 8-3. Fell in game 2, 2-1. Spencer Tack, the Reddies starter today, remains on the hill for inning number 4 as Cole Muckeroy digs in and takes a fastball outside for a ball, 1-0. Muckeroy, UAM's right fielder, made the third out, or I should say caught the third out of the Reddies inning in the bottom of the third. Muckeroy now trying to do it with the bat, 1-0. He lifts this one to left field, hit well. Mitchell Jr. racing back, reaches up and makes the catch in front of the warning track, so Muckeroy gives it a ride. Tack once more for the 4th straight inning retires the first man due up. So Tack has gotten ahead of the UAM lineup so far. He's gotten better in every inning. Tack allowed 3 hits and 1 run in the first, 2 hits, no runs in the second, 1 hit, no runs in the third. Grant Shepard squares to bunt. It's a good one. Tack's going to have to barehand it, make a good throw. He does. What a play by Spencer Tack. Grant Shepard got the bunt down, was going to try to use his speed as the UAM center fielder. You know he can run. He got it down. Tack had to run to his right. Didn't have enough time to scoop it with the glove. Goes to the bare hand and makes a strong, straight throw to the first baseman Grayson Stevens for the second out of the 4th inning. So as UAM bats here in the top of the 4th, down 4-1, Spencer Tack has now retired the first 2 batters in 3 of his first 4 innings. He'll battle here against UAM shortstop Clary. Clary, a half thought, keeps the bat on the shoulders, 1-1. Clary singled up the middle in the second, was stranded in scoring position as Tack struck out Hudson Hopkins to end the inning. Clary reaches out, fouls that one off. Count now 1-2. Tack, like I said, he's gotten better in every inning. Looking for his best inning here. Looking to retire the Boll Weevils in order. 1-2. Misses outside. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Bases are empty for the Boll Weevils here in the top of the 4th. Clary playing short, batting 9th for UAM. Really choking up on the bat for the lefty hitter. 2-2. Pokes this one foul down the left field line. Clary trying to get his season going. There's 1 hit and 5 starts for Clary. 2-2. This is fouled off the lower body and rolls into fair territory, but foul ball. Clary will reset and regather himself as Josh Aguilar walks out to his pitcher Spencer Tack just to give Clary a little bit of time to make sure he's okay. Good sportsmanship, one of the unwritten rules of baseball. Still 2-2. Tack has worked around 6 hits in 3 2/3 innings, giving up just 1 run. 2-2 to Clary. This is sent right side. Colasandro, the second baseman, charges, makes an easy flip to Stevens, and for the first time today, Spencer Tack retires the Boll Weevils in order. 3 up, 3 down. Henderson State's right-handed starter out of Dallas working well, and the Reddies will try to give him more cushion when they bat in the 4th when we return on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Cladberry Field. Beautiful spring day here, early March on the campus of Henderson State University. The Reddies trying to take Game 3 of a 3-game set as they welcome in the Arkansas Monticello Bull Weevils. Reddies up 4-1 at the bottom of the fourth. Caden Argenbright digs in, takes a fastball low, 1-0. Argenbright faces off against UAM's Mason Philly. Philly gets Argenbright to check his swing, and Argenbright went around, 1-1. Argenbright 1 for 2 with a run scored today. 2-1. Philly misses outside. Philly took over in the third, the start of the third, for the starter Levon Cordova, who gave up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. 2-1 from Philly to Argenbright. Argenbright, a swinging bunt, and it'll roll foul. Nice play by Andrew Perrino to smack it foul just when it crossed to the right side of the first baseline. Didn't give it a chance to veer back to the left and go fair once more. Count now 2-2. Argenbright batting .333 this season, batting .417 when leading off the inning. 2-2. Another swinging bunt, but this is right back to the pitcher. Perrino out of his catching crouch to field and fire, and he gets Argenbright by a couple of steps for the first out of the inning. So that's the first time UAM's pitchers have gotten Henderson State's leadoff man out. The Reddies singles to lead off the first, second, and third, but Argenbright out 2-3 with a swinging bunt here to start the fourth. And Mason Philly has been really solid for UAM since taking over for Cordova. Grayson Stevens, though, has been very tough out all weekend. Stevens 2 for 2 so far today. Had a 2-run homer that gave the Reddies the lead in the bottom of the first. Argenbright scored after he singled, and then Stevens brought home Bryson Haskins in the second with a 2-out single. Stevens swings and grounds it right back to the pitcher, Philly, who fields, spins, and fires for the second out. So Philly's been, as I said just moments ago, has been really throwing well since taking over for Cordova. He allowed a leadoff single to Joe Myers in the third, but got a couple of fielder's choices and got Bryson Haskins to pop up to right to end the inning. First pitch from Philly to Mitchell Jr. Mitchell Jr. swings and pops this one up. Drifts into foul territory down the third base line. Johnson, the third baseman, calls for it, makes the play in front of the Reddies dugout, and Henderson State is retired in order. That was a lightning quick inning for Mason Philly. Less than 10 pitches for Philly in the bottom of the fourth. And we go to the fifth. Reddies still in front, 4-1. 6 hits for each team. Spencer Tack has been excellent in the last 2 innings. We'll see if he can keep it rolling as the UAM lineup resets when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State up 4-1 as we start the fifth. UAM got their lone run of the game in the top of the first, but TAC is throwing up 4 window frames in the last 4 as UAM bats here in the fifth. Cade Thompson takes a pitch outside. Thompson led off the first as the number 1 hitter in the order for UAM. Here it leads off the fifth. 1-0. High and outside. 2-0. UAM's dugout a little bit more energized, trying to get the bats going after TAC retired UAM in order on just 10 pitches in the fourth. 2-0. 3-0. TAC has not offered a free pass today in 4 innings. 2 strikeouts, no walks, but on the verge of walking the leadoff man, Cade Thompson, in 4 pitches. Strike 1. Thompson spins and was ready to take first, but fastball gets the top of the zone. 3-1 the count as TAC looks to fight back. TAC has retired the leadoff hitter in every inning so far. It's a hitter's count here to Thompson. 3-1. 3-2. TAC clips the outside corner with a fastball, and TAC has now climbed back from a 3-0 count. Back-to-back strikes taken by Thompson. Full count. Inside, TAC loses the battle, and Thompson walks to lead off the fifth. Again, that's the first time today TAC has allowed the leadoff man to reach. First walk issued by TAC in the outing. 4th walk given up by TAC this season. High and outside. TAC misses to start the at-bat to UAM's left fielder Hudson Hopkins. It's really impressive how much better TAC has been with his control in his career at Henderson State. Brought his walks per 9 innings number down every year in Arkadelphia. 1-0 to Hopkins. Popped up. Aguilar trying to make a play on it. He does, just in front of the netting behind home plate, and that is a big, big first out for the Reddies here in the top of the fifth. Aguilar did not have a lot of real estate to work with. His toes were almost pressed up against the concrete behind home plate, but he makes kind of a basket catch, just held it in the midsection, and that's a big out for TAC as UAM now has 1 out and 1 on for their most dangerous hitter, their third baseman, Jordan Johnson, as Thompson leads off first. Throw over from TAC to check on Thompson. Thompson slides back safely. Johnson takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Johnson tripled with 2 outs in the first. Johnson's got 2 triples this weekend. Coming into this 3-game set, he had not tripled in his career at Arkansas Monticello, even though he had more than 157 hits coming into the weekend. Johnson just misfouled it back, 0-2. So TAC, in his first season at Henderson State, really small sample size, just went 4 1/3. But in those 4 1/3 innings, walked 10 guys. In 2019, walked 18 guys in 26 1/3. And then last year, 2020, walked just 15 guys in 29 2/3 innings. 0-2. That's in the dirt. Thompson takes off. Throw not in time. And Thompson has a stolen base for UAM. A little bit of a delayed steal for Thompson, as he just saw that pitch was going to be down low, and he knew it was going to be a tough play for Aguilar to field and fire. And a nice piece of base running for Thompson, and it takes away the the conventional double play for the Reddies, as there's no force out at second base. Count 1 and 2 to Johnson. Johnson came into the Sunday game a combined 3 for 8. This is popped up, but it'll drift out of play. Tack, the Reddies pitcher, hustles over, lost his hat as he was taking a look. So Tack, in 2019, 6.2 walks per every 9 innings. In 2020, that number dropped to 4.6 walks per every 9 innings. So far this season, coming into this outing, it's 3 walks per every 9 innings. So that number has dipped, and that is such an important number to pitchers at every level. Tack looking for the strikeout of Johnson. Here comes the 1-2. Johnson stays alive, fouls it off out of play. Count stays the same, still 1-2. Thompson on second after walking earlier and stealing. Johnson slaps this left side of the infield. Myers into the hole, has to make a long throw. It's picked by Stevens, but Johnson beats it out, and it's an infield single for UAM's third baseman. Thompson stays at second, and UAM has runners on first and second with 1 out here in the top of inning number 5. So Tack worked around 3 hits in the first when he allowed 1 run, worked around 2 hits in the second, worked around 1 hit in the third, and now we'll have to work around 2 base runners here in the 5th. But Tack has done a really nice job this season pitching with runners on base. He'll face Andrew Perrino here. Perrino takes this outside 1-0 to Perrino. Perrino 2 for 2 today. A couple of singles. Is responsible for the lone RBI for UAM back in the first. 1-0 to Perrino. High, 2-0. Tack coming into the inning was really doing a great job with his control. Coming into the 5th, Tack had 62 pitches thrown, 44 of them strikes. So right around a 75% strike percentage, which is excellent. 2-0. This is sent to left field, lifted high in the air. Mitchell Jr. drifts over and catches it in fair territory, just 1 foot right side of the left field line, and Tack gets a big second out there. As the runners stay put, Thompson stays at second, and Johnson stays at first. No chance to advance, as Mitchell Jr. would have had an easy throw down to third base from the left field line. This is Aaron Gala digging in, and a big spot for Gala, and a big spot for the Reddies pitcher Tack as well, trying to work around a couple base runners here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Gala takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. 0-1. Tack has had a really solid Sunday so far. 4 2/3. And out here would put him in a route to get the victory with a 5 innings completed and a 4-1 lead. 0-1. Missed outside 1-1. Tack 4 2/3 so far. He's given up 7 hits, but 5 of those 7 hits came in the first and second innings, so he's been much better after the first 2. 1 run, it was earned. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. Quick mound visit as Josh Aguilar wants to talk it over with his pitcher Spencer Tack, and Joe Myers, the shortstop, runs in to be a part of the conversation as well. just a quick talk. Myers back to short, tack on the rubber, and Aguilar crouches behind home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 on for UAM in the top of the 5th. Reddies up 4-1. Reddies got 2 in the 1st and the 2nd. It's been scoreless since then. 1-1 to Gala. Gala checked his swing but went around. 1-2 the count. Tack a long looking. He comes set, looking for his 3rd strikeout. Would be a big one. 1-2. That's outside. The fastball. 2-2. One of Tack's 2 Ks came in a very similar spot. Back in the 2nd inning, he struck out Hudson Hopkins with runners on 1st and 2nd. Right now, he's going to try to strike out Aaron Gala with runners on 1st and 2nd and the inning. And 2-2. Gala upright stance, slightly opened up. Short sleeves today for Gala. A lot of sun. 2-2. Gala loops it to left field. It's going to be a tough play for Mitchell Jr., but he makes it. A long run for Mitchell Jr., but he catches it right on the left field line. And Spencer Tack works around a leadoff walk and an infield single. We've said all broadcast, Tack has been a great pitcher this season with runners on the bases, and he has proved that today. He quiets the UAM bats after they threaten in the 5th. The Reddies will try to reset the offense when we return on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State bats in the bottom of the 5th. The Reddies lead 4-1. Henderson State got 2 in the bottom of the 1st and 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. It is the middle of the order here, due up in the 5th. 4, 5, 6. Lewis, Myers, Baker. Lewis, one of 7 lefty hitters for the Reddies in the lineup today, takes a ball outside. 1-0 from Mason Philly. 2-0. Philly misses low. Philly has been very good for UAM in relief of Levon Cordova, who did not have his best step today. Cordova gave up 4 runs in 2 innings. Philly, alternatively, has given up just 1 hit and no runs in 2 innings. 2-0. Doesn't get the call. 3-0. Philly has allowed just 1 base runner. That was 2 base runners, excuse me. He did hit a batter. Give up just 1 hit, though, to Joe Myers to lead off the 3rd, but he was excellent, retiring the Reddies in order in the 4th. Lewis swinging 3-0. The freshman with the green light. Did that last night. Swung on a 3-0 count. It was the same result. Fouled it off, and count goes to 3-1 for the Arkadelphia native. Slapped right at the shortstop, Clary. He Fields karaoke's and fires to first for a simple 6-3 ground out for Lewis, who is now 0 for 3 today. A couple of flyouts and now a ground out for Lewis. This brings up Joe Myers, who got a second chance at the plate and made the most of it last time up. Myers takes the ball high and outside. Myers fouled a pitch into foul territory, or fouled a pitch down the first baseline. The UAM first baseman Gala battled the sun and lost. And on the very next pitch, Myers singled into left field. So Myers 1 for 2, takes a strike, outer half, 1-1. The count on Henderson State's RBI leader. Myers 15 ribbies in a young season. 1-1. That's low inside. 2-1. Bases are empty for the Reddies in the bottom of the fifth. One out after Lewis grounded out 6-3. Myers bats, 2-1 count. Myers swings and fouls this off 2-2. Henderson State has gotten a great outing from Spencer Tack, who went 5 innings for the Reddies. We'll see if he comes back in the 6th, but Henderson State's bullpen has been active. Tack with about 80 pitches so far today. So his day might be done, but he was sensational for the Reddies. Did everything that HSU could have asked for as Myers checks a swing and Philly doesn't get the call on a backdoor breaking ball. It stays outside and the count goes full 3-2. So Tack goes 5 for the Reddies. He would be in line for the win as long as Henderson State stays in front the rest of the way. The Reddies lead 4-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. The Reddies responded to UAM's run in the top of the 1st with 2 of their own in the bottom half. The Reddies added 2 more in the bottom of the 2nd, but it's been a pitcher-dominated game since then. Myers walks. Good at bat by Joe Myers, and after striking out with a check swing in the 1st, Myers has reached safely in his last 2 plate appearances. The Reddies have 1 on with 1 out for Matthew Baker. So after Philly retired the Reddies in order in the bottom of the 4th, you'll have to deal with a base runner here in the bottom of the 5th. Matthew Baker digs in as Myers, the Reddies shortstop, leads off at first after drawing the walk. Philly gets the strike called outer half with a fastball. Baker 0 for 2 today, but I don't think the Reddies can ask him to do anything with the bat after what he did with the glove and with the pearl yesterday. Baker was absolutely fantastic in 5 innings of scoreless baseball on the mound yesterday for HSU. He takes a strike right down the middle, and he's very frustrated with himself. He didn't pull the trigger on that one. He looks to the heavens and shakes his head before digging back into the box. That one was grooved right down Broadway. On the 0-1, count goes to 0-2 as Myers leads off first with 1 out against the Reddies in the bottom of the 5th. Gets away from Perrino, and Myers will jog to second base. Rule that one a pass ball. And Henderson State takes away the conventional double play and moves a runner into scoring position. 1-2 the count on Baker. Henderson State so far today, 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Monticello 2 for 6. David, lefty batter, swings and misses. He got tied up there on the breaking ball and walks back to the dugout upset with himself. He knew he did not offer at the best pitch of the at-bat and strikes out on 4 pitches. That is Philly's first strikeout in 2 2/3 innings. And that's the second out in the back pocket of Philly here in the bottom of the 5th. Daniel Colasanto has reached safely in both his trips to the dish. Singled and scored in the 2nd, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. He bats in the bottom of the 5th with Myers leading off 2nd and 2 outs. First pitch. Just clipping the inside part of the plate. I think Philly missed the frame of Perrino. Perrino was set up outside, but he gets the call in the inner half, and Philly ahead in the count 0-1 on a crouching Colasanto. Colasanto takes strike two, thought about it, kept the bat on his shoulders, and Philly way ahead here. So Philly trying to work around a one-out walk to Joe Myers. He got Lewis to ground out 6-3 to start the inning. Walked Myers on a full count. Myers advanced to second on a pass ball, but then Baker struck out swinging, and Colasanto stays alive with a defensive swing. Count stays 0-2. Philly had a rough first outing of the season up in Alva. Went 2 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, walked 4 guys in a loss, and a 13-2 loss to the Rangers. That's outside, and Perrino keeps it in front this time. That was the same location and same speed as the ball that got by Perrino earlier this inning that allowed Myers to go to second. Myers stays there this time as Perrino keeps it in front. Count goes to 1-2. Reddies have 1 2-out RBI so far today. 1-2 to Colasanto. That stays above the belt. Ball 2. UAM thought that was strike 3. Reddies are 1 for 5 with 2 outs. The lone hit was off the bat of Grayson Stevens. A single back in the second that scored Bryson Haskins after Haskins had brought home Daniel Colasanto with a double down the left field line. 2-2 to Colasanto. Myers leads off second. Colasanto, again, stays alive. Shoots this one off the cement wall down the left field line. Colasanto hit it hard, but just late. And the count stays the same. Good at bat for Colasanto here. Philly, in relief, has gone 2 2/3, nearing 50 pitches, 47 thrown so far, 30 of them strikes. Here is pitch 48, 2-2. Colasanto reaches out, sends it right side and through the hole. Rounding third and coming home to score is Myers. The throw on line, but not in time. And Daniel Colasanto with a big piece of 2-out, 2-strike hitting. A great at-bat for Daniel Colasanto. He will give you a fight at the plate every single time he digs in. He was down 0-2, fouled a few off, took a few for balls, even to the count 2-2, and just reached out and poked it through the right side of the infield. So many times it's just about putting the bat on the ball and making the defense make a play, and UAM unable to do so there as Colasanto has now reached on 3 straight occasions. He's 2 for 2, pair of singles, and the Reddies are up 5-1 as Josh Aguilar, the Reddies catcher, bats for the 3rd time and swings through the first pitch he sees in the at-bat, 0-1 to Aguilar. So Philly is touched by the Reddies for the first time as HSU adds 1 more here in the bottom of the 5th, 0-1 to Aguilar. Fastball outside, 1-1. Colasanto 2 for 2 today now, and trying to get that career average back over the 300 threshold. Colasanto in 63 starts for Henderson State and 72 games played, a .294 hitter. That average ticking up though with a couple of singles. 1-1 to Aguilar. Philly gets the call on the outer edge, 1-2. So Henderson State giving Monticello a little taste of their own medicine. Monticello has been at their best with 2 outs against them all weekend, but Henderson State with a couple of 2-out ribbies, and they lead 5-1. Aguilar facing the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Henderson State, though, adds to the lead. The Reddies get 1 run in the bottom of the 5th on 1 hit as Colasanto brings home Myers, and the walk resulting in a run. Henderson State leads 5-1. Spencer Tax Day is done. Cade Tucker will take the hill for for the Reddies when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. The Reddies lead 5-1 as we start the sixth. New hurler on the mound for Henderson State. Cade Tucker takes over for Spencer Tack. And Tucker gets a called strike one with his first pitch. Tack in line for the win as he will become a member of the audience. 0-1. 0-2 now as as Tucker switches speeds on the designated hitter for UAM, Dylan Borman. Quickly up 0-2. Strikes him out. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Cade Tucker introducing himself to the UAM lineup in an emphatic way. Those were 30 near unhittable pitches as Tucker gets a strikeout in 3 pitches and misses low and inside to Muckleroy, UAM's right fielder. And Tucker is working absolutely lightning quick. There's barely enough time to take a sip of your drink before in between these pitches. He's 5-6 seconds in between pitches for Tucker. But as quickly as he struck out Borman, he's 3-0 behind Muckleroy. Finds the strike zone there, 3-1. I'll have to get out my stopwatch here and time Tucker in between these pitches. 3-1. This is hit hard, laced to center field. Haskins running back, makes a diving play. Oh my goodness, Bryson Haskins just laid out. He saves extra bases, and he has the second out of the inning. We thought Danny Mitchell made a great play yesterday. And the center fielder Haskins says, whatever you can do, I can do better. What a play from Bryson Haskins for the second out of the 6th inning. Muckleroy was thinking extra bases. He could have had a stand-up triple there if Haskins missed that ball. What a play by Bryson Haskins for the second out of the inning. Tucker misses outside to Grant Shepard. 1-0. Already 2 outs on the bull wheels here on the top of the 6th. Nobody aboard as Shepard takes 2-0. This is fouled off. Stevens drifting into foul territory and just runs out of room. I just timed that. 5.76 seconds between Tucker getting the ball in his glove from Josh Aguilar, the catcher, and his release point. So that's not even counting the time he takes to get into his windup. So don't blink. You're going to miss a couple pitches that Tucker throws. 2-1. 3-1. Two outs, bases empty. Reddies up 5-1, top of the sixth. Strike two. I just restarted my watch. We're going to see how long it takes for... Oh, this is taking Tucker an eternity. Oh, more than 7 seconds for Tucker to throw a pitch. Off the end of the bat, little bloop into shallow right center field, and Shepard takes a turn around first, but will retreat to the bag as UAM has a hit in the top of the sixth. And now Tucker will have to slow down just a touch, you'd imagine, as he'll have to deal with a base runner. So Grant Shepard, he continues to have a really nice weekend for UAM. Shepard a hit in all 3 games, hitting 8th and playing center for the Bull Weevils. Audie Clary takes a fastball outer half for a strike. Tucker making his 3rd appearance for the Reddies. He has a save for HSU this season. 0-1. 0-2. Fastball, same spot, same result. Tucker got the save in the 8-5 victory over Arkansas Tech on February 13th, striking out 1 batter in a clinical 9th inning. Tucker looking to work around a 2-out bloop single. 0-2 to the shortstop Clary, and this gets through the wickets of Josh Aguilar. With a wild pitch. 1-2 the count, and UAM with a little sign of life here in the top of the sixth as Shepard got himself aboard with a bloop single to right center over the head of the second baseman Colasanto, and then moves on to second into scoring position with a wild pitch from Tucker. Clary really choking up on that bat, and he calls for time. Tucker will step off. Tucker replacing Spencer Tack, who was excellent for Henderson State today. Tack finishes giving up 1 run in 5 innings of work. 1-2. Clary hammers it right side. Stevens stabs at it, makes the play, steps on first, and the Reddies are out of the inning. UAM gets 1 in the first, and we'll go to the bottom of the sixth with the Reddies up 5-1. Henderson State's pitching staff has been excellent in games 2 and 3 of the weekend. The Reddies will look to build their lead when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Reddies bat as we return here in the bottom of the sixth. Clydeberry Field, beautiful Sunday afternoon, mid-60s, and abundant sunshine on the campus of Henderson State University. Bryson Haskins pulls the bunt back and takes the ball high and outside. Mason Philly back to work for UAM in the bottom of the sixth. Philly took over at the start of the third for Levon Cordova, who allowed 4 runs in 2 innings of work. 1-0 to Haskins. Swings and fouls it off the mask of Andrew Perrino, whose mask was dislodged. And now the home plate umpire will jog out to Mason Philly at the pitcher's mound, giving Perrino a little time to regather himself. Count goes to 1-1. Haskins 1 for 2 today with an RBI and a run scored. He doubled and brought home Colasanto with a laced line drive down the left field line in the second, and then scored on the Grayson Stevens 2-out single. 1-1. Inside, and Haskins skips out of the way as the ball flutters by the glove of Andrew Perrino, but nobody on base as Haskins leads off the bottom of the 6th, so no issue to keep it in front. 2-1 to Haskins. Closed stance for the center fielder. It's popped up on the infield. We'll see who calls for it. The second baseman, Thompson, charges and makes the play just behind the pitcher's mound for the first out of the inning. So the Reddies got leadoff hits in the first 3 innings, but have had the leadoff man retired in the last 3 innings as Caden Argenbright swings the first pitch he sees. A lazy line drive bounces in front of the first baseman Gala. He crouches, fields, and steps on first for a quick out number 2 of the bottom of the 6th. Philly looking for his second 1-2-3 inning in relief, and he's been good. Philly has given UAM a chance to get back in this ball game with the bats, but Spencer Tack had an excellent outing. Kay Tucker shut UAM down in the top of the 6th, and the Reddies lead 5-1 as Grayson Stevens bats with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. Again, Tack for the Reddies in line for the win. 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 run against him. Reddies lead 5-1. The Reddies were up 4-1 when Tack exited in the top of the 5th, and they got 1 more in the bottom half. So Tack in line for his second win of the year if Henderson State can hold on. Another strike to Stevens. 0-2, misses outside from Philly. Philly came in the 3rd for Cordova. Got out of a jam with runners on the corners, then retired the Reddies in order in the 4th, but Henderson State struck back in the 5th with a 2-out RBI single from Daniel Colasanto through the right side. Here's a 1-2 to Stevens. Sucks in the stomach and gets out of the way. 2-2. Base is empty. Reddies trying to jumpstart a little 2-out rally here and add to their 4-run lead. Here at Clydeberry Field. 2-2. Stevens reaches out. Slow ground ball to a charging shortstop, Clary. He hops the first baseman, Gala. And the Reddies have a base runner. We rule that an error up here in the press box, and I agree with that. A good throw gets Stevens. If Clary doesn't short hop the first baseman, Gala, Stevens is out, but he'll happy to be leading off first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Danny Mitchell Jr. bats for the Reddies, and this one is behind Mitchell Jr. Stevens scurries to second after the wild pitch. Henderson State used something similar to score in the 5th. Joe Myers was on first. He advanced to second on a pass ball and came home through a single from Colasanto. So Henderson State back with a runner in scoring position after a free 90 feet for HSU. Danny Mitchell Jr. fouls off the 1-0, 1-1 now. So Henderson State looking for a little deja vu. Bottom of the 6th here. 1-1 count to Danny Mitchell Jr. Grayson Stevens leads off second. Mitchell Jr., lefty hitter. 0 for 1 with a walk. also been hit by a pitch today. Leaves that one outside 2-1 as the Pearl pounds the leather of the catcher Andrew Perrino. Mitchell Jr. reached safely in the first and second, walked in the first, was hit by a pitch in the second, fouled out to the third baseman Jordan Johnson in the fourth. 2-1. Reddies looking for another two-out ribby from their left fielder Danny Mitchell Jr. Fastball clips the outside corner, 2-2. Henderson State has been much better today with runners in scoring position. Not excellent, but 300, usually going to get the job done. 2-2. Ooh, good pick by Perrino. That was in the dirt in the opposite batter's box, a 57-footer from Philly, and Perrino just made a really nice play to keep that in front. That would have been another wild pitch and would have sent Myers to third base most likely and 90 feet away, and would have put some more pressure on Philly because one more of those, and it's probably another run for Henderson State. Full count for Mitchell Jr. First base is open, Myers on second. Mitchell Jr. swings and misses. He strikes out for the 8th time this season, and Philly works around a base runner in the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the final third of the third game of the weekend. Top of the 7th coming up when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. We're in the 7th. We're in the top half. Henderson State leads 5-1. Been a pretty clean game so far today. The Reddies have gotten great outings from their two pitchers they've put on the mound. Cade Tucker back to work. He took over for Spencer Tack, who is in line for the win. Tucker misses in the dirt, 1-1. Count evened up to Cade Thompson. Thompson leads off the 7th. He is UAM's leadoff hitter in the lineup, 1-1. Swings through a fastball, 1-2. Tucker working quickly in his second inning on the hill. Gave up a bloop single with 2 outs in the 6th that got around it as he goes off speed and misses at the ankles of Thompson, 2-2. Thompson 0 for 2 today, or 1 for 2, walked once. Tucker, 2-2. Back to Tucker. He goes to one knee, fields a hard hit ground ball, and makes the throw to first for the first out of the inning. Nice play by Tucker. That was hit pretty hard by Thompson, right back at Tucker, but he was calm enough to field his position, went down to a knee and gathered it in. Even if Tucker knocks that down, he's probably got enough time to make a play, but he fielded cleanly and threw to first for a 1-3 ground out as Tucker starts Hudson Hopkins with a ball low and outside. 1-0 to the left fielder Hopkins, who's 0 for 3. Hopkins swings through 1-1. Hopkins was a really tough out yesterday. Was 2 for 7, but he also walked 3 times, so on base half the time he came to the plate. Also scored twice and had a 2 RBI double, but the Reddies have kept him quiet so far today. 0 for 3 with a strikeout back in the second. 1-1. Hopkins fouls this one up and out of play. 1-2. Hopkins grounded out to the third baseman, Caden Argenbright, in the first. And was retired in the fifth. Fouled out to the catcher, Josh Aguilar. He strikes out here in the seventh. Second time today. Hopkins has struck out. That was foul tipped into the glove of Aguilar, but Aguilar pinches it for out number 2. This brings up Jordan Johnson, who bats with the bases empty. And this is definitely a guy you want to face when there's no runners on board. Johnson, .331 career average coming into the weekend. One of the best hitters in the last decade at Arkansas Monticello. He swings and hammers the first pitch, but right at Joe Myers. Myers makes the play for the third out of the top of the seventh. Tucker, excellent in 2 innings of relief, giving up just 1 hit. Reddies looking to add some insurance as we go to the bottom of the seventh. HSU up 5-1 on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State has played a solid one here on Sunday afternoon. The Reddies lead 5-1, bottom of the seventh. And this game has really picked up its pace. UAM got 1 in the top of the first. The Reddies got 2 in the bottom half and then 2 more in the second, but just 1 run since then. Reddies got a 2-out single from Daniel Colasanto in the fifth to score Joe Myers. That's the only scoring in the last couple innings, as Alec Lewis starts the bottom of the seventh with a foul ball. 0-1 as Mason Philly goes back onto the hill. Philly has been really nice, really solid in relief for UAM. 4 innings, 1 run against Philly, but it was not earned. The run was scored by Joe Myers, who scored on a single from Daniel Colasanto, but Myers was standing on second because of a pass ball. So no runs on Philly, whose ERA has plummeted today. 1-1. Alec Lewis fouls it off the end of the bat. 1-2. Philly struggled in his first outing of the year. Gave up 4 runs in just 2 innings at Northwestern Oklahoma State back on February 27th, but been very good today. 1-2. Lewis stays alive once more, fouls it off, and count will remain the same. Philly took over for Levon Cordova, who gave up 2 runs in each of his 2 innings he threw. So it's been Philly's game for UAM since the 3rd. Reddies still up 5-1. Lewis pounds this into the turf. Sunday hot for the second baseman Thompson, and he makes a strong throw to retire Lewis by a step. Lewis 0 for 4 now today, has not had much to show for his trips to the plate. Fly out to left in the first, fly out to center in the second. He's grounded out to short, and he's now grounded out to second. So Lewis has sprayed it all over the field, but has not found any green grass, as Henderson State sends Joe Myers to the plate. Myers had a tough start to the day. Struck out swinging in the first on a check swing, a call that he disagreed with. That was a big spot, as at the time Myers had Danny Mitchell Jr. in scoring position, but couldn't do anything. Myers a single in the third and walked and scored in the fifth. Myers way behind here, 0-2, as he fouls the 1 off and out of play. Myers had his 7-game hitting streak snapped in game number 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. 0-2. Check swing and called strike 3. Myers strikes out for the second time today. And the Reddies have the bases empty and 2 outs as Matthew Baker gets set to dig in. And again, Baker, a great night last night, kept the Reddies in it as he squares to bunt, gets it down. A push bunt left side of the infield, and Baker beats it out down the line. Philly ranged to his right and made a strong throw, but never had a chance to get Baker, who could not have rolled the ball out any better than he bunted it. So Baker has his first hit. He's 1 for 4, and Daniel Colasanto going to try to stay perfect today. He's 2 for 2 and has reached safely in all 3 trips to the dish. Colasanto, a single and a run scored in the second, hit by a pitch in the third, and an RBI single with 2 outs in the fifth. So Colasanto, if you're giving out 3 stars of this game, he is definitely a candidate for one of them. Swings and misses on the first pitch of the at-bat. 0-1 to Colasanto as Baker leans back to the bag. Leading off first, Colasanto asks for time as Philly was taking a little bit too long of a look at Baker on first. Philly, the lefty, and this is slapped down the left field line. Colasanto's got another hit, and he wants extra bases. Making the turn and trying to score is Baker. The relay throw from Johnson. In time, the tag applied, and Baker is thrown out at home. Not a bad decision to send Baker, with the left fielder Hopkins having a little trouble with it on the concrete wall. But Hopkins made a good throw to Johnson, who made a great throw to the catcher, Perrino, and Baker was tagged out trying to score from first. But with 2 outs, cannot blame Reddies head coach Cody Hooten for trying to get a run. Colasanto, an excellent day at the plate, 3 for 3 for Colasanto. But UAM, great defense, keeps it a 4-run game. We'll go to the 8th. Henderson State will go back to the bullpen. Cade Tucker done after 2 innings, and it'll be Taylor Langston heading to the hill for a possible 6-out save, you might imagine, as the Reddies lead by 4 as we head to the 8th when we come back. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. Henderson State up 5-1 as we start the 8th. Taylor Langston onto the hill for the first time this weekend. Langston taking over for Cade Tucker, who was excellent in relief of Spencer Tack, who was excellent himself. Tack in line for the win as Langston fires a fastball for a strike at the knees of Andrew Perrino. Perrino catching and cleaning up for UAM. It'll be 4-5-6, the middle of the boll weevil order here in the top of the 8th. Langston pulls the string and gets Perrino looking. 0-2. Tack started, went 5. He's in line for the win. Tucker went 2 innings for the Reddies and hands off to the righty Langston, who works here in the top of the 8th. 0-2. A long frame for Aguilar, but that's just off the plate with the fastball. Goes to 1-2. Henderson State's bullpen has been really solid this season, and it was near perfect today. Tucker 2 innings, 1 hit, struck out 2. Langston gets Perrino to strike out for the first out of the 8th, as Monticello quickly now kind of running out of time all of a sudden. Just 5 outs to work with for UAM, and they're down 4. So they've got to get the bats going. They've been really quiet since the first 2 innings. UAM had 5 hits in innings 1 and 2, but just 3 hits since then as Langston misses inside to Aaron Gala. Gala 1 for 3 today. He's left 2 on base. 1-0 from Langston. Gets the fastball, outer half, 1-1. Outside of Johnson and Perrino, Williams' order hasn't been very threatening. Johnson 2 for 4, Perrino 2 for 4. The rest of the lineup, though, combined 4 for 22. 1-1 from the righty Langston. Outside 2-1. Gala singled. In the first, flew out in the third and the fifth. 2-1. Off the hands, out of play, 2-2. Langston, 6'4" senior out of El Dorado, Arkansas. Came to Arkadelphia by way of Barton Community College. Langston has been excellent in the red and gray in his career. 2-2. Another foul ball. Same spot as Gala battles, but is behind Langston. Count remains the same. Langston making his 2nd appearance of the season, his 27th appearance of his career. Langston 4-3 all-time for the Reddies. Coming into this one, 39 2/3 innings. 2-2. Breaking ball stays upstairs, helmet high of Gala, who has put together a nice at-bat here and is trying to complete it by getting on base. If Langston gets Gala out, UAM's down 4, and they've got 4 outs to work with. 3-2. This is chopped left side. Sunday hop right at the chest of Joe Myers. He gathers and fires a strike across the diamond to retire Gala. So a battle won by Langston, and the Reddies have retired the first 2 in the top of the 8th with the bases empty. Tucker worked 2 scoreless innings, taking over for Spencer Tack, who's in line for his 2nd win. Langston took over in the top of the 8th for Tucker. And the Reddies pitching staff has put together a great day so far as Langston tries to put final touches on this one. You would imagine Langston's going to stay out there for the 9th if he gets through the 8th with no problems. No problems so far as he starts Dylan Borman off with a strike. And he's got a 2nd one on Borman as Borman fouls it off, but he's way late, 0-2. Langston's numbers at Henderson State have been darn impressive. .59 ERA over Langston's career. 0-2. Strike three. Langston retires the Bull Weevils in order. 2 of those strikeouts. He looks as sharp as ever. And the Reddies hope they're batting for the last time when they come to bat in the bottom of the 8th. They'll have one more opportunity to add some runs when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field. It'll be Josh Aguilar leading things off for the Reddies. 8-9-1 due up for HSU here in the bottom of the 8th. The Reddies certainly hoping this will be the last time they hit, and they're going to try to take advantage. Obviously, if the Reddies have the lead after Monticello's done on the top of the 9th, they do not have to hit in the bottom half. Josh Aguilar takes a strike, outer edge. Mason Philly stays in the game. Working 5+ now. That was Philly's 80th pitch. Here comes 81 as Josh Aguilar attempted the bunt. Pretty rare to see Aggie lay down the bunt. They got a slight shift on. I mean, Johnson, the third baseman's playing a little bit closer to the hole, maybe 5 feet closer to the shortstop's position than he normally would be, but not really it's not one of those shifts where you see the shortstop playing at second base and the second baseman playing essentially in right field. Aguilar fouls off the 0-2. Count remains the same. Reddies have the base paths empty here in the bottom of the 8th. Philly, who came in for Levon Cordova, all the way back to start the bottom of the 3rd, remains in. Philly's been very good for UAM. 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Philly has done everything he's possibly can to give UAM a chance, but Reddy's pitching has just been excellent. I mean, even dating back to game number 2 of Saturday's doubleheader, UAM scored 2. They beat the Reddies 2-1, but so last 15 innings now for UAM just put together 3 runs as Aguilar fouls it back and stays alive 1-2. Obviously, it's 15 innings because UAM, the game between the Reddies and the Bull Weevils, the nightcap yesterday was just 7 innings. So 2 runs in 7 innings last night, 1 run in 8 innings so far today. So 3 and 15, that's going to get it done, especially against a team like UAM that's got such a dangerous lineup year after year after year. UAM always seems to be at the top of the GAC. Another 1-2 from Philly to Aguilar. Outside, low, easy take for Aggie. 2-2. But back to for the Reddies pitching. Spencer Tack gave up 3 hits and 1 run in the first, gave up 2 hits, but stranded them in the second, and then after that, he was really, really good. Scoreless in the third, fourth, and the fifth. He handed off to Tucker, who was excellent, allowing 1 hit across the 6th and 7th, and then Taylor Langston mowed down 3 hitters in the 8th. Henderson State's got a really impressive bullpen. Obviously, Blake Patterson didn't have one of his better outings yesterday, but between Patterson, the freshman Perry, Langston, Tucker, Gracie's capable. Henderson State's got some guys in the pen. As Aguilar leans out of the way, count goes to 3-2 now. Really nice at bat for Josh Aguilar. Technically, Matthew Baker, he's throwing starters innings, but he comes out of the bullpen. Henderson State has a lot of guys they can turn to in different situations. 3-2, Aguilar stays alive, fouls it off. Really, really nice at bat from Josh Aguilar, who's trying to get on base safely for the first time. Reached on a fielder's choice 5-4 in the third, but he's 0 for 3, struck out back in the 5th. Would love to add a hit to his line score before this one ends. 5-1 ball game. 3-2 pitch to Aguilar. Slow roller to second, and Aguilar beat by the Cade Thompson throw. A good battle from Aguilar, but Philly retires him 4-3 for the first out of the bottom of the 8th. Bryson Haskins digs in. Haskins had a RBI double in the second. That scored a run, as it brought home Daniel Colasanto after Colasanto had singled to the shortstop and beat it out. Haskins takes a strike, 0-1. Nobody on base for the Reddies, bottom of the 8th. 0-1 to Haskins. Philly misses outside with a fastball, 1-1. Haskins, though, had an unbelievable catch in center field earlier today. Robbed a UAM batter of extra bases. I believe that was Cole Muckleroy. Would have had at least a double, if not a triple, if Haskins hadn't made an absolute web gem. I mean, that's no exaggeration. That was SportsCenter top 10 material easy. That was unbelievable by Bryson Haskins. That was the second out of the top of the 6th. 2-2. 3-2. Perrino keeps it there. Tries to get the call with the frame. But no such luck, and the count goes full, 3-2. So Aguilar bounced out 4-3 on a full count, 3-2. Haskins trying to flip the script and get on board for the Reddies with a 3-2 count. This is a pop-up, shallow right center field, and it just loops and hangs in the air long enough for Thompson to backtrack about 40 feet. He backpedals and makes the catch. Thompson, a busy man here in the bottom of the 8th. Threw out Josh Aguilar 4-3. And now Haskins moves to 1 for 4 today with a P4. Henderson State resetting the order as Caden Argenbright tries to keep things going for Henderson in the bottom of the 8th. Argenbright also trying for a multi-hit game. Argenbright trying to bookend his afternoon with a couple of base knocks. Singled and scored in the first. 1-0 to Argenbright. 2-0. Argenbright singled to lead off the bottom of the first for the Reddies, and then jogged around the bases a few moments later when Grayson Stevens homered. 2-0. Argenbright saw it off, pops it up. Third baseman Jordan backpedals, and he makes the play. A couple pop-ups and pop-outs for the Reddies in the bottom of the 8th. Mason Philly has worked an excellent day of relief for UAM. Philly 6 innings now for the Boll Weevils, 4 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. 1 walk and 4 Ks for Philly, but has not gotten any help from the Boll Weevil bats, as they have been silenced for the majority of the afternoon. The Reddies will try to keep them quiet as we go to the 9th. Monticello has 3 outs left and 4 runs to go when we come back on the Henderson State Sports Network. Welcome back to Clydeberry Field, the bottom of the UAM order. Going to try to keep the Boll Weevils afloat here in the top of the 9th. It'll be 7, 8, 9. McElroy, Shepard, and Clary due up. UAM down 5-1 as Taylor Langston stays on the hill. Langston got 2 Ks in the top of the 8th. Worked a clean inning and starts McElroy with an inside fastball for a strike. 0-1, now 0-2. McElroy waves and misses. That was a looping, lengthy swing by McElroy. Came up empty, and Langston looking for 3 Ks in his first 4 outs here. Langston wastes one, about a 58-footer there. Bounces in front of Aguilar, who keeps it in front, but no matter. Bases clear as McElroy leads off the top of the 9th. Reddies up 5-1. Reddies got 2 in the first and the second. They added 1 more in the 5th after UAM got their lone run with 3 straight 2-out hits in the first. 1-2 from Langston. McElroy sawed off, and this will float out of play just past the Reddies bullpen down the left field line. McElroy staying alive, trying to make Langston work a little bit. Langston, 18 pitches so far, 13 strikes. Langston has had his ace stuff since replacing Cade Tucker in the 8th. This is shot right side off the glove of Logan Cowart, and Cowart can't make the play. That's ruled a base hit for UAM's Cole McElroy. Cowart replaced Daniel Colasanto in the field in the 8th, but could not make the sliding play to his left, and Arkansas Monticello has a base runner here to start the 9th. They still need 4 runs, though. Reddies up 5-1 as Langston pours a strike to Grant Shepard. Shepard, one of the few Boll Weevils with a hit in all 3 games of the weekend series. 0-1. This is sent left side. Myers makes a diving stop, but that's an infield single, no throw, no chance for Myers, who was playing in double play depth, and all of a sudden, Arkansas Monticello with a little life here in the top of the 9th. The tying run on deck, represented by Cade Thompson. So the bottom of the order, re-energizing the Boll Weevils. A single for Shepard follows up the single by McElroy, both of them infield singles. So UAM hasn't hit Langston hard, but they've hit him in the right places in the 9th, and they've got 2 on with nobody out. This is popped up, drifting to the left, And room for Argenbright to make the play right in front of the Reddies dugout. Big out number one for Taylor Langston, who really needed to get the 9-hole hitter, Audie Clary. And now, Henderson State can end the game with a double play. Force outs at third and second, obviously first. So I would imagine Langston will try to keep it low in the zone as Thompson digs in, 1 for 3. McElroy on second, Shepard on first. Fastball outside, ball 1. Langston making his second appearance this year, has not given up a run. 1-0. That's downstairs at the laces of Thompson, and Aguilar blocks it to keep it in front. Count goes to 2-0. 2 on for the Bull Weevils here in the top of the 9th. The Reddies are up 5-1. 2-0 here to Thompson. 3-0. UAM. I think if you're a UAM fan, all you want is a chance to bring up Jordan Johnson, who's in the hole behind Hudson Hopkins, who stands on deck. Okay, Thompson, who takes a strike. 3-1 from Langston. McElroy on second, Shepard on first. Check swing, strike 2. Thompson did not go around, but the fastball clipped the outer half, and the count is full. Big spot here for Langston. Looking for the second out and his third K. Doesn't get the call. Fastball stays outside, and the bases are loaded, and the tying run is at the plate. Thompson works the walk, and Hudson Hopkins comes up, and if you're Hopkins, you got to be thinking to yourself that you're due. He's 0 for 4 today, one of 2 UAM starters without a hit. Bases loaded for Langston, 1 out. Right at Myers, this could be 2. Myers crouches, throws to Cowart, on to first. Game-ending double play. Henderson State wins it 5-1. They salvage the series with a victory over Arkansas Monticello. So the Reddies win it. Spencer Tack, the victor. Tack goes 5 innings of 7-hit baseball, 1 run. It was earned. He gave it up in the first after retiring the first 2 batters he saw. 3 straight hits by UAM gave them the lead 1-0, and then Tack settled down, and was excellent. Tack, after the first, gave up just 4 hits the rest of the way and 1 walk. So Tack had excellent control today. Just struck out 2 batters, but was democratic with his outs. Tack goes 5 innings. He gives off to and handles. He gave the ball to Cade Tucker, who gave up 1 hit, struck out 2 in the 6th and the 7th. Tucker made way for Taylor Langston, who retired the Bull Weevils in order, and 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the 8th. Langston got into a little bit of trouble in the top of the 9th, loading the bases with 1 out, but he did not allow UAM to send Jordan Johnson to the plate, their most dangerous hitter. Langston gets Hudson Hopkins to roll into a 6-4-3 double play to end the game. Tack gets the win. He improves to 2-1. Levon Cordova gets the loss as he went 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, and exited down 4-1. Henderson State obviously did not relinquish the lead, so Cordova falls to 1-1, and Henderson State gets the victory. The Reddies move to 6-3 on the year, 4-2 in GAC play. Monticello falls to 3-3, all 6 games played in conference for the Bull Weevils. If you're giving out 3 stars today for the Reddies, I think you got to look at Grayson Stevens as the first star candidate. Stevens, 3 of the Reddies' 5 RBIs. Stevens 2 for 4. His homer in the bottom of the first was the game-winning hit. It was a 2-run homer. The Reddies took a 2-1 lead, and Monticello never scored after that. So Stevens, the game-winning homer, essentially, in the bottom of the first. Stevens 2 for 4, scored a run, 3 ribbies. He homered to score Argenbright in the bottom of the first. And how about Daniel Colasanto? Colasanto playing second, batting 7th. Just 2 at-bats in the first 2 games of the 3-game set this weekend. Colasanto, 3 for 3, reached safely all 4 times he came to the dish as he was hit by a pitch, and the 1 time he did not get a hit. Colasanto also scored a run and had a 2-out RBI in the 5th inning that brought home Joe Myers and gave the Reddies a 5-1 lead. Colasanto also had a double and almost had a second RBI on his double. Matthew Baker was thrown out at home to end an inning. So Daniel Colasanto 3 for 3, Grayson Stevens 2 for 4, and then I think third star of the game got to go to Spencer Tack. Tack against this UAM lineup that was hungry for a 3-game sweep of the Reddies. Tack gave up 3 hits in the first, and like I said, settled down and settled in. Tack goes 5 innings for Henderson State, gets the win. 7 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 Ks for Tack, and Henderson State wins it. The Reddies are winners in the last game of the 3-game set over the weekend. The Reddies won at 5-1. Again, Henderson State improves to 6-3, 4-2 in conference play. UAM 3-3 overall, 3-3 in GAC play. For everybody who helped put on this Henderson State broadcast, appreciate them and appreciate you for tuning in. This has been Reddies Baseball on the Henderson State Sports Network.